I wasn't kidding. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and as promised, here we are with the January Games Pickup Collection Update video. I let myself go a little too hard here, and I've actually recorded this video 2, 3, 4 times, and I just hate it every time it comes out, but I'm just to the point now where I want to get the video out, so no matter what happens, we're going to go through it here. So grab a drink, it's going to be a long video. Alright, so before we get into the nitty gritty and actually dive into the games, I just want to let you guys know my collection philosophy, because I think it's important to understand kind of why I pick up the games that I do and the games that I don't, and things like that. So there are really two main reasons why I will buy a video game. One is that I want to play the video game. I just want to play it, and it looks like fun, and it's a game on my list that I want to get to. That's the main motivating factor. The second reason is if there's a game that I think I can make some content out of on the channel, whether it be for the After the Credits series or a completely different series altogether. Just if I have some ideas of things I can potentially do with the game, I'll pick it up just in case I can make content out of it on YouTube here. So again, it's got to be a game that I'm interested in, at least in playing a little bit to be able to make content for. But that's the second main reason why I will buy a game. The third reason I will buy a game is just that the game seems at least to be a little bit more uncommon than what you traditionally will see at game stores. So with that being said, there are some games in here that I picked up for that third reason, and I don't know shit about them at all. So you guys will have to let me know down in the comments below about some of these, because I'm not definitely not an expert, but hopefully you guys will be able to help me with some of those down in the comments below. But honestly, we'll see what happens. This video is gonna be way too long. I need to be able to release these like when I have 10 games to talk about instead of 38 or whatever the fuck we got to go through today. So it's going to be a long one. I'll try to keep it entertaining for you guys, but nonetheless, thanks for being here. And let's stop talking and get into the video games, shall we? All right, so welcome to the desk cam, where I've covered my lit up keyboard with a blanket that was laying over here. Very professional studio here, as you guys can see, but don't want to blind you, so here we are. Anyways, let's just stop talking about it, get into the games here. So the first game we're talking about today is 3D Dot Game Heroes. This is an Atlas RPG that I actually really want to dive into and play. I actually had this game as a kid. I remember buying the game brand new, and then I proceeded to never play it. So that was interesting. I did that a lot as a kid, which is kind of funny to think about. But anyways, I got it again. It's not the most common PS3 title. It used to be pretty hard to, well, it used to be really expensive. It's actually come down in price quite a bit. I got it for $50. I believe the game now is around $42, so it's not definitely like a super common $5 game that you'll get at every store. So because of that, decided to pick it up and look forward to playing this sometime in the future. But yeah, nice one to have in the collection. I think the box art is really cool for this game as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into 3D Dot Game Heroes. Next up here is a loose disc. If you watched the other video, you guys know that I'm not opposed to buying loose discs from time to time. And this was just a game that was loose that I picked up, and I don't know how the fuck it got wet, but I'm gonna have to figure out a new way to store that. Good stuff. Anyway, this is 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. Now, this is actually a sought-after PlayStation 3 game that is notoriously very bad. However, it's not a very common game, so I saw it loose at the video game shop that I go to that has loose PS3 discs, and I usually flip through them just to see if there's anything that sticks out to me. This game stuck out. Obviously, it's a pretty uncommon title for the PS3. I know that this game actually runs like dog doo-doo on this console as well, so I don't know. No, it's a bad game. Wasn't the cheapest. I actually got a deal on it. He gave it to me for 30. I think loose right now it's going for 42, 45. So in line with kind of what I would want to spend. But nice to have. Probably played at some point. I just don't know when. But cool to have in this collection nonetheless. And hopefully we can figure out a box solution for this in the future. All right, so after 50 Cent, we have a sports title. This is actually a pretty sought-after sports title for me personally, and that is All-Pro Football 2K8. This is actually 2K Sports' final entry into the football series, and this was actually a fantastic game. It's actually got better physics than even modern games. I would say this game is more realistic and authentic to football than even Madden 25 is. It's got great, really unique physics, great tackle physics. It's got like injuries that occur on the field mid-play that'll take players out of the play, and the play will still continue. I mean, it's very interesting and a very well-designed football game. Obviously, they weren't able to acquire the NFL license, so there's no officially licensed teams here. You pretty much have to create a team with a lineup of NFL Hall of Famers, as you can see from the cover: John Elway, Jerry Rice over here, and Barry Sanders. But there's a bunch of legends in the game that you can play as to build your squad up, and then you just play through a season essentially with that team. But it's got great physics, and it's a really, really cool football game, and one that's really cool to have in the collection. So happy to have this one. Just looking for Blitz the League 2 still. God damn it. That's the football game I really want. All right, following up All-Pro Football, we've got one there's not going to be much to talk about here. That is Battlefield 3. Just a good Battlefield game. Honestly, I don't know if I'll play it, but cool to have in the collection because I've got some memories of Battlefield 3. My personal favorite Battlefield game is Bad Company 2, which I haven't come across actually yet. But when I do, I will purchase it just to hop in, even just to do the single player to relive some memories. But saw 3 for a reasonable price and decided to pick it up. So cool to have Battlefield 3 in the collection, but other than that, there's not a whole lot to say about it. All right, next up is a game that falls into the third category, like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, which is a game that I don't know much about. But the reason I bought this one is because I got it at Goodwill, so it was actually a thrift store find. So anytime I see a game that isn't a super common sports game at a thrift store, it's a good chance I'm going to pick it up, and that is Blazing Angels 2 Secret Missions of World War II. I would presume that this is a dogfighting game. There's actually a lot of dogfighting type games in this generation. There was a lot more on... Whoa, camera, focus up, buddy. There's a lot of dogfighting games on the 360 that I played. I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head, but these games actually tend to be pretty fun. I like the Ace Combat games. These are really kind of not even closely related to those. I mean, they're closely related in a way, but you're obviously flying World War II planes in this game. But anyways, got it at a thrift store for $6, and because of that, I picked it up and just wanted to have in the collection that's cool and kind of unique because I found it at a thrift store. So, Blazing Angels 2. All right, we got a cluster of games here that I'm going to whip through because there's not much to say about these, but I just added them to the collection. So, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, another Goodwill find for $4. I'm never going to play this. The Advanced Warfare was on PS3 and PS4. So, and this is obviously a reprinted cover. Either that or it's incredibly sun-destroyed. I'm not exactly sure, but this is not a game I'll probably play. But, again, thrift store find. That wasn't a sports game, so I picked it up. Going through these here, I mean, you're going to realize a pattern pretty quickly. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Great Call of Duty. I loved the original Modern Warfare trilogy, as I talked about in the initial pickup video. And because of that, well, we picked up both. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. Got them both here. Not much to say. Again, these games still have team deathmatch lobbies that are playable on PS3, but hard to go back to these games if I'm being completely honest. It's a difficult task to say the least. And then Call of Duty Black Ops, the original, one of the greatest CODs out there. I mean, all of these CODs are really fantastic. Black Ops has developed a really massive cult following, though, as being one of the most fondly remembered Call of Duties, but pick this one up as well. Again, not really games that I'm going to play, but these are memorable to me from my childhood, so it's nice to be able to look at the shelf and see these games again, even if they're not necessarily priority games for me to play through. All right, moving from Call of Duty to a doubleheader here, a little double creature feature. I don't even know what I'm saying. We got Darksiders and Darksiders 2. These games are remastered and playable on modern consoles with the War Mastered editions. But how can you pass up these holographic covers in a store? You can't. This sticker is horrendous. This sticker is gotta go. But I just love the way that the art looks on these. If I was to play Darksiders 1 or Darksiders 2, I would play them on modern hardware with up-resed versions. But nonetheless, cool to have these in the collection just for the artwork alone. These games are actually really, really great. And I've started Darksiders, the original, multiple times and have never stuck with the game. So at some point in my life, I do plan to play through the Darksiders trilogy. I just don't exactly know when that's going to be. And it probably won't be on PS3. But still cool to have these titles anyway, even though there's better ways to play these games now. Still cool to have. And they look dope. So, hell yeah. Moving right along here. This was actually a find at a Stuff, etc. Another consignment store, like a Goodwill in our area. This is Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi. I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z games. I think I played Budokai on the GameCube and liked it a lot, but I wasn't big into the anime like a lot of my friends were. But I did still think the games were fun, and saw this in the shelf and picked it up for $9.49. And this game goes for quite a bit more than that on price charting. I think it's like a $20 some game. So got it at a very good price. And again, it was at a thrift store, so it wasn't at a game store. So just kind of a unique find, and that's why I picked it up. As far as playing through this for the After the Credits series, I don't know. I mean, these games are hard to play if you don't have Dragon Ball Z context. But nonetheless, a non-sports game find in the thrift store, I'll take that almost every time. Okay, another thrift store find, and this is a game I would classify as a loose game. I found this at Goodwill, another thrift store find. This is Fast and Furious Showdown. One of the worst, and I mean the worst, PlayStation 3 games ever created. I believe it has a 22 on Metacritic, and is a horrendously bad video game. But again, as we've said a few other times in this video, it is a non-sports game that I found at a Goodwill, and we're gonna play through this game this year. So just be prepared for that. This game will be featured in After the Credits in 2025. Mark my words. And we'll see if it's actually a 22% quality game or not. I'm sure it is. All the gameplay I've seen looks horrendous, but anyways, Fast and Furious Showdown on PS3. Got it for $5, and it's got that horrendously ugly pre-owned GameStop sleeve in it. So sweet. Anyways, Fast and Furious Showdown. There it is. All right, jumping into a game that I had as a kid that I absolutely adored, and I'm very excited to have again, and that is Fight Night Champion. It's by far, in a way, probably my favorite Fight Night game to ever be released. I love the career mode with Andre Bishop. It is a very, very fun career mode. You do like prison fights, and you work your way up to being a prize fighter. And I remember the combat is super cool and fun in this game. Oh, the boxing, I guess you could say. The game just feels good. It's very fluid, very fun. One of the all-time greats. I have not played Fight Night Round 4, and I don't know if Round 4 came before or after Champion. I believe Champion was after 4, but let me know in the comments down below, and if Fight Night Round 4 was after Champion, I'll start looking for that game as well, because I do like the Fight Night games, and I know that the Fight Night devs went to the UFC games, So rip Fight Night, but Fight Night was truly special, and I do like the UFC games as well, but it wouldn't hurt to have Fight Night make a resurgence because these games were a ton of fun. So very nice to have Fight Night Champion in the collection. This is definitely a game I will play through soon because this is one of my favorites. Next up here, game I did not have growing up as a kid, but nonetheless, I've heard a lot about it. Final Fantasy X 10-2, the HD remaster for the PS3. From my understanding, Final Fantasy X and 10-2 are very divisive games. Final Fantasy fans either love or hate 10 and 10-2. But I've heard from so many people that love it, they recommend it. One guy in particular, just going to give a shout out to Johnny Plays Live. He is a member of the ACG podcast, but he was playing through Final Fantasy 16, and I was talking to him a little bit during his live stream, and he actually recommended Final Fantasy X as a good Final Fantasy game to play. The only Final Fantasy game I played was 14, which I loved. 15. It was 15. I think it was 15. The boy band game. I love that one. So yeah, I'll check this game out sometime in the future. It's just gonna be, these games are not really my style. These 200 plus hour massive RPGs I tend to lose interest in a lot of the times, but I hope to be able to build up the ability to play a longer game in the future, and when that day comes, this will be on the shelf waiting for me. So cool to have this one in the collection, and hopefully we'll be able to get to it as long as my ADHD doesn't pull me away from it. So cool to have. Okay, the next two games I don't have anything to say about, to be completely honest, because I don't know anything about them. So sorry in advance. Let me know in the comments what you think about these two games below to get me up to speed, but here we go nonetheless. First game here is Fracture. This is a very common PS3 game that I see at every store that I go to, but I'm unfamiliar with it, and I feel like I have a pretty solid game knowledge on video games, but I don't know shit about this one. So anyways, just picked it up out of curiosity. This could be a third-person shooter, first-person shooter, could be an RTS. Don't know. I literally don't know shit about it. So let me know down below what you think of Fracture, or if you think I should prioritize it for the After the Credits series, because I don't know anything about it, and I picked it up because I see it everywhere. So I know, good conversation. There's Fracture though. That's yay. All right, next up is a loose game. Again, got it from the one store that I buy loose games from when they let me look through them, and it is God of War Ascension. So, as I mentioned in the original video, I love God of War 3. It's one of my favorites, and this Ascension is the game that came out after God of War 3, and I missed this one actually when I was younger. I didn't play through Ascension, so I want to play through this after I beat God of War 3. I know that Ascension is a divisive game. Some people loved it, some people did not love it, but I want to find out for myself whether or not I like it. I am a little bummed out that I got this one loose. I would love to have the case because I love God of War's art style. So maybe in the future, if I see God of War Ascension complete in box, I'll pick it up and maybe get rid of the loose cart, or the loose, I keep saying cart, it's a fucking disc. I don't know why I keep saying cart. I watch too many pickup videos of people getting NES stuff. Sorry. But I would like to upgrade this to the case version in the future, but for now it's nice to at least be able to have the game to play it if I get the urge to play it. So anyway, it's cool to have Ascension. Look forward to playing through this one for After the Credits, either this year or in the year following. We'll see. We'll see how many games we get through this year, but this is definitely one that's on my hot back list, to say the least. Okay, here's the game I was talking about earlier before I was talking about Fracture that I didn't know anything about. This is Haze. Haze was supposed to, I believe, be the Halo killer, which didn't happen because this was the only one made. But so I believe this is a first-person shooter, very similar to Halo. Heard mixed things about it. The guy at the game store said it was good. I've heard it isn't so good. Who knows? The game we'll visit and find out for ourselves, but don't have a lot to say about this one. This one kind of falls into that. Well, it doesn't really fall into any category. This is a very common game you can find at used game stores everywhere, but I just decided to pick it up because it is very cheap, and cheap games are good ones to have for the collection when your collection is as early in its infancy as mine is. So, got Haze. Look semi-interested in checking it out. Alright, we can do another Devil Creature feature for the next two games here. We got Kingdom Hearts 1 and 1.5 Remix and Kingdom Hearts 2.5 Remix on PS3. The 1.5 Remix cover is a reprint label. It looks like the 2.5 Remix is a original, though. But, Kingdom Hearts games, man, not really my thing, but they've just been popping up on a lot of content that I watch lately for some fucking reason. Like, Video Games Daily, they are constantly talking about Kingdom Hearts. Like, Snowbike Mike is playing through Kingdom Hearts as we speak. So I don't know, I just saw these and decided I'd scoop them in case I wanted to play them. But again, like I said with Final Fantasy X, these types of games are typically not in my wheelhouse. But I'm looking to expand my wheelhouse with the games and the variety of games that I have been playing for the After the Credits series. So hopefully in the future, we'll be able to dive into these and appreciate them for what they are instead of looking at them like a Final Fantasy game with Disney characters that's really fucking goofy. But anyways, goofy, pun intended, by the way. But anyways, we'll check these out hopefully in the future. Nice to have them in the collection. And yeah, we'll see. We still have so many fucking more games to do. Hopefully you guys are still being entertained. If you are, leave a like or comment down below that you made it to this point, because I guarantee maybe 2 of you will make it to the end of the video. And I don't blame you, because this is a ridiculously long video. Moving on, though, we've got Lair. Lair is a PS3 launch title, and you fight on a dragon. That is literally the extent of what I know about it. Got it for $8, and I've only heard bad things about this game, so I don't know. That's literally all I have to say about it. I don't really know. Very common. You can find it everywhere, but Infancy Collection had to scoop it. So there it is. All right, next up, MX vs. ATV Alive. I love the MX vs. ATV games. This isn't necessarily the best by any stretch of the imagination. Shout out Unleashed. But I don't know, I got this one for some reason. Just decided I think I wanted an MX vs. ATV game. I think this was right after I finished Pure. I was like in the mood for more motocross stuff. So I got it. I don't know when I'm going to play it, but it's in the collection. So there you go. Next 2 games, I'm going to say what they are. I'm going to show you them, and then I'm going to put them off to the side. All right? You guys good with that? Madden 11 and Madden 12. Okay, moving on from that. Another Stuff Etc. find. So this is a thrift store find. Midnight Club LA Complete Edition. I got this one, I think, for I think this was either $6 or $10, something like that. I think it goes for $12 on price charting, so I got it a little undervalue. But again, non-sports title at thrift store equals can buy video game. So that's kind of the case here. Midnight Club wasn't really my thing as a kid. I was more of a Need for Speed guy. So I loved Underground 2. I didn't play like 3 Dub Edition and all that shit. Some people grew up with those and absolutely adore those. So I didn't play Midnight Club on PS3. Was never really after it. I would have bought the Need for Speeds over Midnight Clubs any day of the week. But nice to have Midnight Club to be able to check out, because I do love my racing games. And again, thrift store find is always a good thing. So nice to have this one. Keep rolling. Next up, a game recommended to me on the first episode. So thank you for the recommendation. MotorStorm Pacific Rift. This is the sequel to MotorStorm. This game is much better from everything that I have heard. I'm actually having fun playing the original MotorStorm, believe it or not, but Pacific Rift, much better game. Cool to have in the collection. Another racing game. I love my racing games. This one is super complete in box, but the case is definitely got some water damage and some sun fading, but that's all right. Cool to have Pacific Rift in the collection. This is actually not necessarily a cheap, I mean, it's a cheap game. It's $25, but not a $5 game. So it's a little bit more of a pricier title for the PS3, but cool to have in the collection nonetheless. And I look forward to playing this in the future. All right, next up is NBA Ballers Chosen One. Corny ass game, from what I understand. It's kind of a predecessor. No, predecessor is the wrong word. The opposite of a predecessor. It was inspired by the NFL Street Games. It might be. Well, yeah, no, it had to be inspired. It wasn't made by EA Sports Big, I don't believe. No, it was made by Midway. So, very similar to the Street Games, from what I understand. But, yeah, it's just a arcade basketball game. That's it. Yep, good conversation. Good talk, guys. All right, we've got another steaming pile of shit for you here. NFL Tour, $3. This is one of, also right along there, right alongside Fast and Furious, one of the worst rated PS3 games created. This one was actually made by EA Sports Big, but this game fucking sucked, to be quite frank. I still plan on playing it because I just want Blister League 2 so goddamn bad, and this is the only arcade football game I can get my hands on. So I'll probably play this while I wait for Blister League 2 to pop up for me to be able to purchase. But yeah, this game is fucking hot cheeks from what I understand, but we'll still check it out for the lulz. So stick around the channel for that, obviously. But NFL Tour, there you go. Okay, here's a little bit of a weird one, but one I'm semi-interested in, and that is a National Professional Paintball League Paintball Championship Paintball 2009. I loved Greg Hastings Paintball, actually, on the OG Xbox. So I just picked this up. Very, very uncommon, I think, personally. I've only seen this game once, and this is the copy that I bought. I don't see how there are that many of these games out there in the world. So yes, it was very cheap. It is not a desired game by any means. Probably stinks, but I bought it because of my Greg Hastings paintball nostalgia, and I definitely plan on checking this out in the future. So let me know what you guys, if you guys would like a series on the Paintball Championship 2009. But anyways, cool to have this one in the collection. Look forward to checking it out soon. All right, next game here was recommended to me in Discord by my buddy Jake. That is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. This is the most sun-faded video game copy I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It looks absolutely horrendous. You know what? This is actually a reprinted label that is sun-faded. So it's just a double whammy of looking like garbage. But this was what was the hot. Oh my God! Can I talk? This was the Need for Speed he recommended to pick up. Hilariously, the day I bought this, the game went on PlayStation Plus for free. So hilarious timing. And obviously the PlayStation Plus version is the remastered version. It's a better way to play the game, but that's just my luck. I also bought God of War Ragnarok, and then it went to PlayStation Plus, the games catalog, the next day. So just fucking bad luck there, back to back. But nonetheless, nice to have another Need for Speed in the collection. As I mentioned earlier, more of a Need for Speed guy than a Midnight Club guy. So cool to have this one in the collection. Well, I'd like to say we're close, but we're not. So we'll just keep moving along here. Ninja Gaiden, well, you know what? Let's do it the correct way. Ninja Gaiden Sigma. This is the remastered version of Ninja Gaiden 2 that everyone hates, is what I've researched and understood. This game was just remade and re-released as Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Literally shadow dropped. Again, right after I bought it. I have a really great tendency of doing that. But anyways, this is Ninja Gaiden Sigma, but I believe it is Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the inferior version of Ninja Gaiden 2. Why that is, I think they reduced I think they added enemy count, lowered enemy health. They decreased the decapitations and limb dismemberment features to make the game run better and things like that. But people just didn't like it very much. So, anyways, got it on the low, so I picked it up, and if I decide to play it, I'll play Black 2, which I don't think is getting the best review scores necessarily, but it's going to be a better way to play the game without a question. But anyways, we got Sigma here, and then Ninja Gaiden 3 as well. I don't know what the opinions on Ninja Gaiden 3 were, to be honest. I know there's a lot of people that love the Ninja Gaiden series, and Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out this year, so it's nice to be able to have these older ones to be able to play. So if I do decide to play Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, I do have Ninja Gaiden 3 on original hardware to play after. So very cool. These games are brutally difficult from my understanding, but nonetheless cool to have. I love the art design, and I love a good character action game, as you've seen if you've watched any of my after the credits videos. But nice to have those two games for the PS3 to go to if I ever decide to. All right, after that we have PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. This is a Super Smash Brothers clone, essentially, with PlayStation characters. Now, the sad thing about this game is it is offline at this point. You cannot play it online anymore, meaning you cannot get the DLC characters, which is very sad. But this is a great party game, great game to have on the shelf if people come over and want to play some couch co-op games. This would be a fun one to pop in and play. So nice to have this one. Sad it's no longer, able to access that DLC content. Nonetheless, though, still a fun one to have in the collection. All right, the next game here is a cover that I actually printed. You can tell by the back. Yeah, hilarious, isn't it? Anyways, this is Pure. If you have followed the channel, I actually released an after the credits. I beat this game and rolled credits on it. Well, it would have been a couple weeks ago now. But I had this game as a kid, really enjoyed it as a kid. This game is punishingly hard, way harder than you would expect it to be based on how the game looks. That being said, I think the game is still pretty fun. So it's a nice arcade racing ATV game if you're looking for that kind of thing and you're not interested in MX vs ATV, or you want something a little bit different. This one's more focused on tricks than racing, but still fun nonetheless. Happy to have Pure, and it was a fun playthrough to revisit my childhood, so very cool to have. All right, we have less than 10 to go. We have 7 left, so we're making progress, y'all, believe it or not. Another Stuff Etc. find. Another thrift store find here. This is Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. Looks like a lot of Genesis games on here, actually. I think there's 40 classic Sega titles in this. So these collections are really, really sought after on the PS3. There's a lot of collection games out there, and these are really what a lot of people recommend going for if you are a collector, because this game's got 40 games in one. And honestly, this might be the best way to play these Genesis games on a modern TV. So cool to have this collection. Again, got it at a thrift store, which is a fucking steal, and I got it for I think $5. Very, very cheap, way below price charting, and just cool to have this collection on the system. All right, next up, another blast from the past, but this is the newer version. This is SSX. Nowhere near as good as Tricky or SSX 3. Hot take incoming. I think SSX 3 might be better than Tricky, by the way, so let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But 3 is a fucking banger ass game. SSX, this was not very well received to my knowledge, but I still wanted to pick it up and give it a chance. I think I actually played this game, but it's been so long I can't remember a goddamn thing about it. So regardless, nice to have it again. It'll be fun to revisit when the time comes. Next up, Sniper Ghost Warrior. This is actually a game I'm interested in playing. I know that Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 is a much better received video game. The first one was not very good from what I understand, but still cool to have this. I've been having this weird itch where I've been playing the Hunter Call of the Wild, and I'm just enjoying sniping stuff. I'm an animal lover, so when I play the Hunter, I feel so guilty every time. But I could play Sniper Ghost Warrior and snipe humans and be fine. So that's kind of what this is for, to get me off Hunter, because I'm tired of killing animals, because I love animals. So I'm hoping this can take me away from that. But yeah, hopefully I can play through this and then get 2 later, which is a much better received video game. But nonetheless, cool to have this one in the collection. I love the cover art and stuff, so cool to have. All right, guys, 4 to go. We're almost there. Let's go. Another recommendation on the first video, Split Second. I actually own this on PC, so I was not going to get it again. However, the PC port is nearly unplayable. It launches in this weird fucking resolution that I can't change. It's a pain in the ass. So I said, fuck it, I'll buy Split Second again. This is a fantastic game. Also made by BlackRock Studios, published by Disney, exactly like Pure, which is very interesting and unique. Because it's just interesting that Disney published games for a period of time, in my opinion, so I don't know. But yeah, cool nonetheless. This game is really, really neat. You're able to race through these urban environments, and you can blow up the environments to cause disruption on the track. It's a fucking really cool video game. Sadly, the last game made by BlackRock Studios before they closed. But nonetheless, very, very fun arcade racing game that I will probably play this year, to be honest. We'll just knock out 2 BlackRock games this year, but I loved this one, and I look forward to playing through it again. Gives me Burnout 3 Takedown vibes big time, so yeah, this should be fun. Next up here, we have Stuntman Ignition. You play as a stunt car driver. I think I played this, and I think it was absurdly hard for some, like the first level or something, very early in the game was like brutally difficult, and I stopped playing it. So I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below. But nonetheless, I saw this, and it's a cool concept. I thought it was a cool concept when I initially bought it 15 years ago, and I still think it's a cool concept now. So look forward to revisiting this and seeing if we can actually make a little bit of headway in it. Very close to the end, 2 to go. We've got Tekken Hybrid. This is what is it, Tekken Tag 2 and Tekken Tag, and then some movie that I don't even know if it plays anymore. I honestly don't know shit about Tekken. I like the idea of fighting games. I just suck at them. So whatever, it is what it is. But I saw this, picked it up. I got it under price charting value as well. And yeah, I'll probably fuck around with it, but as far as content goes, probably not going to be any unless I have company over and we do like a little tournament or something. But nonetheless, cool to have Tekken Hybrid. I know that Tag and Tag 2 are very well received, so it'll be fun to check those out. And the final game of the January pickups video is The Sims 3 Pets. So this is interesting. There's a little bit of a story behind this. It's probably not interesting, but fuck it. This is a video and I'm going to talk about it anyway. I went to a game store, the same store that I buy loose discs from, and they do have a case of, they do have a little section of cased PS3 games, as they should. And over there was Sims 2 Pets. Okay, so I grabbed the Sims 2 Pets case, took it to the counter, and this place is a stink. I'm not going to say the name of the store, but this place is disorganized. It's cluttered. The guy's fucking stinky. You know what I mean? I mean, it's one of those. It's one of those game shops where, you can, I'm trying not to be an asshole here, but you know what I'm saying, okay? So anyways, I brought the Sims 2 Pets case up to the desk. He could not find the Sims 2 Pets disc. Now, I looked it up. The Sims 2 Pets did have the Sims 2 Pets written on the disc. So he tried to give me the Sims 2 regular, not the Pets edition, and I wasn't doing that. It was priced at Sims 2 Pets price. Wasn't going to pay more for just the Sims 2. Anyway, long story short, we went to a different store. My wife was the one that was really interested in the Sims 2 Pets because she had that as when she was younger. But anyways, we went to another store and I found the Sims 3 Pets. So I picked it up for her, but also for me. I like the Sims 3 and I love pets. If you don't know, I've got 11 cats and 2 dogs. So, yeah, a lot of animals running around here, but this is a purchase for myself and my wife, but it's cool to have. I don't know when I'm going to play it, but anyways, that's the current last game in the collection as of the end of January. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for your patience. To be honest, I don't know. When I initially made the first video talking about the collection, I said I wasn't going to be buying a lot of PS3 games. That has clearly gone out of the window at this point. But I do not want to make a pickups video this long again, because my English vocabulary is only so big. I just sound like I'm just repeating myself all over the place, which I don't like. But that's okay. Nonetheless, there will be more game pickups videos and a much smaller scale. Maybe I'll do game pickups videos right after I go to the store, instead of having a massive buildup of stuff to talk about. So anyways, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave comments down below on games you think I should look out for or pick up when I'm around, and if I see them out and about. And love you all so much. Thanks for sticking with me. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you soon.